Park ranger turns pale seeing this nest. He calls police when he realizes what's inside. In the dappled morning light, Ethan, a young park ranger with a keen eye for the unseen, treaded softly through the whispering pines of Eldridge National Park. His breath misted in the cool air as he patrolled the familiar trails until a glint among the branches caught his eye. Ethan approached. The nest loomed larger, an ancient and ornate structure that belonged more to legend than to the world he knew. Ethan's day began before the sun graced the sky. At his small cabin within Eldridge National Park, he dressed in his uniform, the fabric feeling like a second skin. Each morning's trek was a promise, a solitary vow to protect the vast wilderness under his care, and on this day the forest seemed to hold its breath, as if waiting. Today, as he patrolled the less trodden North Ridge, the village elder, Mr. Abernathy, approached him with a knowing look. "The land remembers, Ethan," he said cryptically, handing him an old, faded map. Perhaps it's time the past was found. A young Ethan sat cross-legged on the attic floor, a dusty history book open in front of him, engrossed in tales of ancient civilizations and lost treasures. The faded map seemed to be a serendipitous bridge between his boyhood dreams and adult responsibilities, a chance to connect the dots of history scattered across the landscape he was sworn to protect. Ethan's gaze settled on a colossal nest, perched like a crown upon the ancient acacia. The nest was a labyrinthine cluster of chambers, each woven with meticulous care. He noted the peculiar uniformity of its design, the way it seemed to hum with old tales and secrets. It was a living testament to a natural world he thought he knew. Stepping carefully, Ethan closed in on the mammoth structure. Thorns and underbrush grasped at his clothes, as if the forest itself sought to guard its enigma. Now under the nest's imposing canopy, Ethan examined the intricate weave of branches. It was a tapestry of vegetation, each piece interlaced with precision. Circling the nest's base, Ethan's eye caught an anomalous twinkle. It was a subtle shimmer, a hint of hidden opulence among the earthen tones. He reached in, his fingers grazing past rough twigs and soft moss until they met the cool kiss of metal. Pulling out a small, ornate brooch set with a gemstone, he marveled at its craftsmanship. It was out of time, a fragment of history, inexplicably lodged in this avian citadel. Back in the solitude of his cabin, Ethan held the brooch up to the lamplight. It danced with a spectrum of colors, each facet telling a story of a time long vanished. As night drew its cloak over the park, Ethan's thoughts lingered on the morrow, on the secrets that awaited unveiling with the dawn's light. Over a pot of steaming tea, the old man spoke of a legend, a civilization that once thrived in these lands, their last remnants said to be guarded by the sentinels of the canopy. These guardians, he claimed, were birds so in tune with the forest that they were entrusted with its greatest treasures. Ethan listened, the brooch in his pocket, a tangible connection to the tales of old. Ethan spent hours in the park's musty archive, dust motes dancing in the slivers of light as he pored over the old maps and journals. He searched for any mention of the civilization or the sentinels. An aged document spoke of a great calamity that befell the ancient people and their last act of preserving their culture. Among the text, he found sketches resembling the brooch's design. Ethan meticulously logged every detail of the jewels and nest materials in his journal, the lamplight casting a warm glow over the precious relics. The entries were careful and precise, noting the potential historical and financial significance of the finds. He speculated on the value of the jewels, not just in monetary terms, but as priceless cultural artifacts. The brooch alone could be worth a small fortune to the right collector. His hand hesitated as he wrote. These treasures belonged to the park, to history, yet he knew that where there was value, there could be greed. The figure's attire was incongruous with the natural surroundings, too clean, too deliberate. It struck Ethan. This could be a scout from a collector, or worse, a corporation known for plundering historical sites for profit. As the figure retreated, Ethan felt the first stirrings of alarm. The nest was not just a historical marvel, it was a potential target for those seeking to exploit its treasures. Ethan's unease grew as he discovered fresh signs of intrusion near the nest. Equipment usually used for covert excavation lay partially hidden under brush. Someone had been digging, and with purpose. He found wrappers from high-energy protein bars and bottled water, the sort used by professional treasure hunters who plan to stay a while. Ethan clenched his fists. The nest and its secrets it held were in danger of being ransacked for their undeniable wealth. This was no longer a quiet historical investigation. It was a silent battle for preservation.